Hello everybody. Well, haven't we seen a real monumental shift this week in the catering industry? We have seen calorific labelling now made mandatory on calories in certain areas. Thank goodness it's still not, isn't yet law, and hopefully will never become law in certain parts, and that includes the NHS on patient menus. And I'll come back to that shortly. But I do believe that this is a ill thought out process. We're still waiting for the so-called strategy on obesity, aren't we, from Her Majesty's government. We've seen Boris talk about it and launch some sort of white paper, but we haven't seen it go to fruition. I actually don't think we will. I think like the white paper on the National Food Strategy, I think it's being kicked into what I class as the long grass. I think the calorie labelling is actually Boris's strategy. I think that's all he's got. It's poor. I think he's ill thought out, and I think the Food Standards Agency should look at themselves into this as well as the Department of Health. We need more. It is a ill-conceived. Labelling isn't, putting calories on something is not going to be the answer. It's long-term education and change that's required if we are to move from obesity. But let's look at malnutrition as well. Malnutrition is a real concern that this government is not addressing. And just by putting like calories on a menu is not going to solve that problem at all. In fact, it will turn it against it. As somebody currently suffering an eating disorder again in my life, calories scare me. And seeing them on a menu will, in fact, drive me away from it. And in fact, yesterday, I saw a live experience of this. I was at football, and Delaware North at Arsenal have met the law and put calories on their menus. Now, who'd have thought at a football fans would have looked up? And the conversation behind me was quite an interesting conversation in a serious way. Because they went and the conversation went the lines of, oh, look, they got labelling. Oh, gosh, have you seen how many calories are in pasty? Yes. Oh, look, the vegan pasty's got more calories than the meat pasty. Now, I'd have thought that would have been the opposite way round, was the conversation. Certainly, yeah. Oh, look, how many calories are in a sausage roll? Oh, bag of Skittles. I didn't realise there was that many. But what it actually did was showed that it makes no difference, because they still went and chosen. One had a vegan pasty, one had, or vegetarian pasty, and one had the meat pasty and a sausage roll. So it made no difference at all. But it did to me, because I then looked, I was going to have a Bovril because I was cold. Yes, I was cold yesterday in April, but I am feeling the cold. But that's me, let's move on. But I noticed it was 22 calories against the black coffee, what I would normally buy at 0. So in a split second, my mind then went, that's calories, and I chose black. So how many is that going to affect? And likewise, if you are malnourished and a health professional says to you, eat healthily, your brain naturally computes that to, oh, I can't eat creams, I can't eat butters, I must eat salady type items. That's because that's what the general population has really believed and not educated towards it. And that's not their fault. Education starts in schools. And I know for a fact the likes of LASA and school food caterers are doing and do fantastic work every day. And have changed the diets of our future generations with the great food they produce. But it needs to go further. We need people to fall in love with food. We need cooking back on school menus. We need people to understand. Actually, what the government should be doing is tackling the big corporations, tackling the supermarkets. You know, we have seen this tinkering at the edges with menus and with advertisement. Will that make a difference? No, because they'll just get around it with some other sort of promotional things. It needs a fundamental, real hard look at them. They need to come to the table. I'm not saying they're to blame. We're all part of this, and that's the issue. The government invited nobody with eating disorders to talk. They never invited all the users. They never, I guarantee they wouldn't have invited a hospital caterer, a education cup, a university cup. Oh no, they probably would have invited the head of corporate management at a very well-known supermarket high street. Yes, they got the very, very special Henry Dimbleby involved, and thank you, Henry, because you do a fantastic job. And I know we've had our debates about malnutrition, and we'll always have that. That's life, isn't it? That's democracy. But please, Boris, if you do listen to these, stop tinkering, issue that white paper, let's see some law, and talk to the people who know, please. Scotland have done it. Why can't we in the UK? Thank you.